Hey guys, what is going on? It is Ando. Thank you for coming out to this video. Today's video is all going to be about the Imperial Troopers and where I kind of see them in the game. But before we get into the video, guys, I just want to thank you guys so much for the last video. You guys really crushed it on that. We got a ton of likes and a ton of new subscribers to the channel. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. If you guys enjoy this one too, make sure you guys like the video as well. And if you guys are new here or you guys are coming back and you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, it definitely helps us get to our subscriber goal of 1,000. So I'd really appreciate if we did get some new subscribers from here as well. I enjoy making content that's fun and that is informative. So if that's the kind of stuff that you're into, then I think you'll like this channel. Again, as we kind of talk about the Imperial Troopers, this is just my perspective. Understand that, yes, I don't see everything that goes on. And obviously, there's always extreme cases beyond, what I'm seeing. So this is what I see. I definitely want to hear your guys' comments and your guys' feedback on what you guys see as well. But this is kind of my take on the Imperial Troopers, where they currently fit in our game, and kind of how you can make a good, decision based off of what that team can take now that we've kind of had the buffs and nerfs kind of happen to us. So without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright guys, so let's talk about the Imperial Troopers, where they currently sit within our game, tips and dispelling any rumors. These are nasty rumors, I'm telling you guys, alright? And of course, this wouldn't be one of my videos, if one of the most amazing videos, if we didn't have the pinnacle of technology helping us along our way, which is Microsoft PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and get into talking about this, guys. All right, so some of the rumors, right? These are the rumors that were happening when I was trying to figure out this counter. So I just wanted to dispel these, or hopefully dispel them, because they really put a fear in me personally when I was trying these in GAC. So okay, so Moff Gideon sucks. He can't be used against DR. That's a rumor. If HK or Sith Marauders in the comp, you can't trooper it. That's a rumor as well. You need a Relic Dark Trooper to counter DR. Again, another common rumor that I hear a lot of. And that I also have bad hair. Okay, so that is a nasty rumor here, and I don't appreciate that. So hopefully with this video we dispel all these, or at least 3 of the 4. So let's talk a little bit about what space do the troopers currently hold. And I'm using space because this is, I kind of want to reiterate kind of what CG speak is, right? Like they were talking about, creating a space where basically non-Galactic Legends fight in one spot and then Galactic Legends kind of fight in the other spot, right? So I kind of want to use the same terminology that they're using. So for lack of a better explanation, right? Like imps versus C is over, right? It's not happening. I've seen some people try it. I've seen some people successfully potentially get through it. I question the modding and why they would have so many lower geared Sith with that team. But again, hey, neither here nor there, right? Like would just, for lack of a better term, like it's over. Okay, so now what? So imp troopers seem to occupy space where they counter very good teams, so long as they can get a kill, right? So there's a lot of good teams out there, but sometimes, like within team mechanics, right, you maybe risk things, right? They can't, I don't know if they can kill gas, but the reason why I would say that they can't is because I just don't think that they're gonna get the counters. There's a lot of TM game on the other side, and when you knock gas down, that's not a kill, right? So a lot of your turns are gonna be wasted, right? But as long as you can get a kill, they certainly have the firepower to get a kill, right? So they're not a GL counter that they used to be, but I'd say they're far above just your standard run-of-the-mill B tier squad, right? Which is not where they were before Piet and Dark Trooper came out. Before they came out, I would say like they really just were a B squad that was, you could have that lower gear and beat another B squad, right? very, very commonly people would use their like gear 8 imp troopers to kill off like the full gear 12 Night Sisters, right? So it was like this was always kind of the thing. But now I'd say, like, because of the kits that came out, they do occupy a space, I think, above that, right? And so I think you can see at the bottom, I think their best use is going to be against DR. I think that is, if you can get that going, you offer yourself a lot of flexibility, because DR has been a defensive boss for 2+ years at this point, right? So if we can get high banners against DR, especially as the Vader counter is starting to, I won't say be impossible, but it is starting to dwindle in the fact that you have to use like 17 different tanks all at the same time. And yeah, you have to meet some pretty strategic modding as well. So I just think that the troopers currently hold this space. Like this is a good space for them, and that's what I'm going to say right now. Okay, so let's meet the team. So I'd say the two non-negotiable people in the team are Veers as far as lead and his unique, and then Piet because Piet's a boss, and also because of his unique. And then I'd say if the team has Malik, which it should, wink wink, and any other sort of sign. Like, I know some people like to Malik solo things, but when you don't have Malik in your team, you open that team up. If you're placing it on defense, you're opening it up to a lot of different other teams as well. So that's why I always say include Malik in your team, unless, like I said, I don't want to change your playstyle. If your playstyle is you like to solo Malik and kill teams, then okay, fair enough. But anyways, if the team has Malik, you'll need a Dark Trooper at Relic. Again, if it's a Relic Malik, you'll need the Relic Dark Trooper, right? The other spots that I think work real nice is Range Trooper, Death Trooper, and I'm gonna say this, and everyone's probably about to quit watching this video, but just trust me, Moff Gideon. So to recap, we got Veers, Piet, Dark Trooper, and then kind of a mixture of Range, Death, and Moff Gideon. So I will explain this a little bit more. Okay, so conditions for the fight, and I'm not going to go super in depth. I know a ton of people have come up with imp trooper guides, and that's awesome. Like, you love to see that. But I'm just going to kind of boil over the basics and just kind of go over real quickly and very I don't know how else to put this, but dummy proof, right? Like, it's going to be like fail safe basically. So your troopers must start first. Like that's pretty much a non-negotiable, and they have to be properly spaced in order for you to actually keep the train going. And then, like you see below, for the sake of safety, 10% speed between all the team members is what you need, right? I understand, like, this is where if you're really trying to min max like the speed and stuff like that, that you could go way more in depth, right? Like, some people, they're special or whatever, that it's going to give them 20% turn meter, it's going to give the rest of the team 20% turn meter. But for just safety purposes, if you just gain 10% per team member, or put 10% speed in between team members, then you're going to be fine. So for example, if Piet is 330, insert maths of 330 times 0.90, 297. So your next trooper needs to be 297 speed in order for you to kind of go, right? And then so on and so forth is how you kind of determine how fast a person needs to be in order to keep the Imperial Trooper train running. So I say the turn order that's most ideal is Piet, Death Trooper, Range, Veers, Dark Trooper. However, it's not like a huge deal, especially after your first kill. Some of the stuff was going to start to get like muddied. But if you're using Moff Gideon, he should start first, just because, I mean, he's naturally the fastest. So now, so here's kind of going to talk about the opponent team a little bit too, and what I've seen. If the opponent has DR, or the opponent DR has the HK Zeta, and HK's in there obviously, then Range Trooper special cannot be used until HK is dead. If they have Sith Marauder, then Death Trooper is strongly encouraged, and really I would say kind of he's needed if you want to score the good banners, and not risk a bad a bad score. And if the opponent has a tanky Sith Empire Trooper or Malik, then I would strongly consider bringing in Moff Gideon just because of the armor shreds. But I would say that like that's the last priority. Like if the top two happen, I would strongly say that you need to bring those guys in, and that's how you're going to kind of determine what your team is going to be, right? So speed, making sure that you're the fastest one on the field. So that's usually going to be the determinant of, hey, is Piet going to be in here, or do I need to bring in Moff Gideon? And then the bottom part of, hey, what does your opponent's team composition actually look like, right? So at this point, guys, we're gonna go look at one fight, right? I have many fights, and I did many fights over the GAC season, and now leading into TW as well, that my TW officers have allowed me to try. And I can't say this enough, right? Like, this is the team that we're looking at that like everyone basically told me like you cannot do this, or like specifically with the comp that I'm going to bring in, they're like, dude, it doesn't work, you can't do it, right? Like, so I just want to show this fight, and like I said, in some of my GAC recaps and stuff, I have other ones where I'm using different comps and stuff like that. So if you guys haven't checked me out on Twitch as well, like, this is where a lot of this stuff is happening too. So let's go ahead and get into the fight. Okay guys, so while we analyze this fight, I'm going to do the first one kind of broken down, and then I'll just replay it in real speed, and you'll see how fast this fight can go. Again, I want to just reiterate that I did have an R8 Dark Trooper, so it's going to be a bit different. You'll see though that like it'll probably only be different during the end of the fight. Okay, so the reason why I'm using a Moff Gideon in this, right, is because this was, I believe, you know, my memory probably is making this worse, but I think this was like a 357 DR, right? You can tell by the TM, you can tell by if it wasn't for this, like, I probably wouldn't get to go first, right? Like my Moff Gideon is the one that's saving me, and the reason why it does look like my Piet is gonna beat him out is because he is, but because Moff Gideon's going first, Emperor's Trap is a buff. Therefore, my Piet is gaining 10% turn meter. Therefore, we beat out Darth Revan, right? So again, kind of the first point that I said, right? We must be faster than them. Is you know, we've beat that. So here we go, right? So I'm kind of picking my target. I'm kind of deciding who the heck I want to kill. And everyone's always okay. So let me break this part down too, because everyone's like, dude, Moff Gideon sucks because he debuffs Sith Empire and therefore he can't remove their TM. That is 100% true. You're not going to do any TM removal on these guys at this point because you've already given them the I forgot what it's called now, but basically you've debuffed them, right? That is a debuff, and you have debuffed them, therefore they can't have their TM reduced. So and I know a ton of people that make fun of the AI for doing armor shreds first, but guess what? Armor shred meta, you heard it here first. And I picked HK. Now, do you have to do an armor shred first? No, probably not. But again, going back to the kind of core competency of this team, getting the kill first is super important. So here we go. Mark onto Dark Trooper, or sorry, yeah, Dark Trooper, right? And then here's another trap that I failed for multiple times in GAC, and I had to learn this the hard way, right? Everyone always wants to call to assist here, right? Like it's the most damage. That's the way that you're gonna get to kill the first way. And I'd say a lot of times the way that people mod Malik is for some crit avoidance in him as well. So a lot of times you're safe to do the call to assist. But again, if we're trying to, you know, maintain the advantage on our side, what we don't want to do is fear somebody, right? Because if we fear someone, because we crit Malik on this AoE, aka if Veers crits him, he's gonna taunt, and if he taunts, that means we have to attack him. There's not really a dispel on this team. I guess technically there is, but it's not ideal, right? Like we have to get to kill first, and then we can go from there. So let's go ahead and continue going through this. So A basic is fine, guys. Again, if you look at your TM, right, like if you check out the TM on all this, I'm still good to go, right? I am fine. Okay, so we got our first kill, right? So at this point, if we had brought in range trooper, we're totally good to do our special now and give ourselves some bonus protection and some assists and all that other good stuff, because at this point we are 100% clear from HK's Zeta. All right, so now I'm going to clear the foresight from Basila, and at this point we're going to go ahead and kill Basila Sean. Now you can either go after Sith Marauder or you can go after Basila Sean. I just choose to go after Basila Sean here. I think it's probably the right call overall, but if you saw that, basically any sort of out of turn attack that happens, Sith Marauder gains a ton of TM as well. Now you don't really have to worry about it too much as long as it's not happening a ton before your Death Trooper goes, because again, you know, because of the way that TM overflow works. But if you start calling in assisting a ton, you're going to notice that Sith Marauder is going to get a turn. Okay, so we killed Basila Sean Fallen, and now again I'm going to clear the foresight here, and this is why you bring Death Trooper. This is the best part about Death Trooper. Basically we need to death mark him right now. There's one of the little known things inside of Marauder's kit is the TM gains out of turn, but also he gains a ton of defense and I believe health steal based on how many buffs are out on the field. You currently have a ton of buffs, right? Like each one of these guys have 11 stacks, so 11 times 5 is 55, plus, you know, some offense ups around here, some speed ups. So you're giving a ton of offense. I'm kind of sad that you guys can't see and we don't have a video of it, but one of my first attempts that I did with this counter was basically like I got like basically half of Marauder's protection down with like 20 stacks each on my death or my Dark Trooper. It was insane, but this is why you're bringing him, right? It's a one shot from that point with him once you get that death mark on him. So now we're gonna do some basics, and this is where the fight starts to get a little bit not as clean, right? You can't call to assist on DR, so you're basically gonna kill him with Death Trooper or Dark Trooper. Gosh, there's too many D troopers here, and this is again where the fight becomes a little bit unclean. But again, you know, Death Trooper just doing, or Dark Trooper just doing Dark Trooper things. Let's go ahead and just re-watch it now at real speed. Again, you guys are gonna realize like how fast this fight goes. But the last part is basically you can't avoid it, right? If you kill Drevin, he's going to health equalize, which is going to make Malik go, so that way he can force or life drain or whatever it's called, and you're gonna have to go through that. It's just kind of the way it is. Now, could you add an armor shred onto Sith Marauder here? Yes, absolutely. Again, I just want to focus on the guy though. I want to do as much damage on one particular target, so that way I know for a fact that I'm going to kill him, because once you get the first kill, it's over. So again, don't do AoEs here in the opening, even with, you know, Death Trooper. Even though it might seem like a nice idea, you get the dispels on those foresights, but if he crits Malik, it becomes a lot messier a fight because you decided to do something like that. So there's a lot of traps in this team, but if you just follow if you can just follow like very simple kind of instruction on it, this team can really put a quick work on this this DR team, which is dominant, or you need a really good counter for it. So yeah guys, hopefully, like I said, this teaches you, or at least shows you, that you can use Moff Gideon. It's okay. You don't need range troopers sometimes. It's an all right fight to just armor shred somebody. It's all right. So again, like I said, hopefully, you know, this is helpful to you guys just watching this be done, and we'll just go into the conclusion of the video now. All right, guys, hopefully that video was helpful. And in conclusion, right, like the arbitrary numbers for you to hit, and I don't like to just throw out target numbers, but it is nice to know kind of what's happening. So Moff Gideon greater than 340 speed, or Admiral Priet greater than 330 speed, depending on, again, who you want to use, when you want to use them. The reason why I say that is if you look on .gg, there aren't too many DRs that are still remaining above that 360 mark. There are some, obviously, so for those cases, I guess you'd be a little bit out of luck, but yeah, you don't see too many of them. So at this point, I would say Moff Gideon at 340, because once you add in the 20 speed with Veers, right, he gets to 360. I'd say you're pretty safe. Dark Trooper as close to or greater than 9k physical damage. I know in my video currently I was at R8, so my physical damage I think was closer to 10.5 or maybe 11. I don't remember exactly off the top of my head. And again, in conclusion, hopefully we dispelled all the rumors, or at least, like I said, 3 out of the 4. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys who stuck it out to this point. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below, or join the Discord, which the link will be in the description as well. Like the video if you did enjoy it, guys, and don't forget to subscribe as well, and just enjoy the rest of your guys' day.